Hey everybody, welcome to week 7 of Summer Reading Take Home Crafts. Today we're going to make a trivet out of old clothespins. Now you'll see that I've already started. That's because this project involves a lot of letting stuff dry, and that gets very boring very quickly. Because you really don't want to watch a video of watching glue dry, right? Okay, so what you'll see is you're going to get, in your package, you're going to get 12 of these half safety pins. Not safety pins, laundry pins, clothes pins. You're going to get 12 of these. And what I found, and it took me a couple times doing this, is if you do them 4 at a time, one thing you're going to see is you're going to get this nice little half circle, this little crescent. That is going to be useful. That's going to be the very center. And what I did was I put a little bit of glue right on this part of the clothespin, okay? And that's how I stuck them together. If you do it the other way, if you use the skinny end, it's gonna be weird and it's not gonna come out right. You wanna use the thicker end. You'll see that also the flat side of each clothespin is all facing the same direction. So the bumpy side is all going the other way, and then we put the fat end on the inside, and we put glue just on that little tiny bit right there. We do that twice. Once these guys have dried, and it, depending on your glue, it could take 10 minutes, it could take an hour. I would let it sit until it's completely dry. I would also not use hot glue. The point of a trivet, in my opinion, is so that you can put something hot on the table and not burn the table. Hot glue is melted by heat. If you use hot glue to stick this together, the chances of it staying together go down exponentially. So we have just regular old wood glue, okay? This is, even though it's Gorilla Glue, it's actually pretty nice because it doesn't, it's not like super glue where it sticks to your hands. You can actually, it will come off. Still, I like my cutting mat, so to keep my cutting mat clean, I have a piece of parchment paper. If you only have wax paper, use wax paper. I like parchment paper because the reason it's so slippery is it's infused with silicone, which is also why you can bake with it, but do not bake with wax paper. That's a mistake. Only bake with parchment. It can withstand the heat. So I'm going to take these guys. Now, they may not fit together perfectly, okay? You'll notice how these guys actually fit very snugly. Sometimes it's not going to fit exactly. So if I put it exactly, I have a big space right there. That's bad. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put glue here and here, and then I'm going to stick them together and set them down and let them dry. So there will be a little extra glue there. That is okay. They're still going to stick together. As long as I don't mess with them, they'll set up correctly. Nobody will notice. This is a small enough piece. There's a small enough break in the glue. See, it's not even really noticeable. But it'll dry together and it'll be good and solid. Okay. After this dries, now this is just 8. I said you get 12. After this dries, you can go back, and what I would say is if you want, you can put these guys, put the skinny end and glue. Again, the back of the pins are still all facing the same direction because I tried it the other way and it looks really weird. But if you make it go the same way, you get a nice continuity. And if you do every other one, you get, it makes it a little bit more structurally sound. I've missed one. This guy goes here, and this guy goes here. And after everything's dry, this is what you're going to end up with. You're going to have this nice trivet. It's kind of funky. It's kind of 70s. It looks like 70s wallpaper to me. but it will be good because we use the wood glue. You're going to be in better shape than if you use hot glue or super glue. I'm actually a little afraid of super glue because it always gets stuck to my hands. But this is super fast. If you wanted to paint this with acrylic paints, you could, or spray paint it with something that's heat resistant. Be sure that the paint is not flammable once it dries. That's why I would definitely stick with an acrylic or something like that that's basically plastic, and you'll probably be fine. You could also take a piece of felt and glue this onto a piece of felt, which will then stop it. If you have any fears of it scratching your table, you won't have to worry about that. Okay, and I just like to have it sit here on this parchment paper while it dries. And I'm going to put a pretty big glob of glue on that guy before I tuck it in. And you'll see I'm only kind of putting it on the top because it's glue, it's liquidy, it's gonna run down through. See? But I can set it so it's basically centered between whichever two. Okay. And yeah, I'm using a lot of glue on this one. That's okay. You can come back at it with sandpaper or with an emery board if you don't have any sandpaper. I'll put that little bit of glue right there. Load that guy up. Probably too much. That's okay. Always keep paper towels handy. Okay, and we're just going to let that sit and dry. And in a couple hours, we'll have the finished product. Probably more like half hour, but I like to let it get really set up. If they fall off, just glue them back on. That's the nice thing about this. Okay, well, this has been a super simple craft. It will take a little bit longer. I had to wait for the first halves to dry. You don't have to stick them together if you want. If you want to put the half guys on in the meantime, you can do that too. I just liked having the first 8 set so that when I came back, they wouldn't be wiggly. This way I only have 4 wiggly ones to worry about at a time. Anyway, everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next week.